You couldn't be the superwoman you are now had you not gone through all of those years of what you saw, what you experienced.
It gave me the opportunity to be who I am today. And in loving myself, I can love others and help other people.
You know, for a long time, I sort of suffered in silence. This series is trying to shine a light on these topics.
There is no stigma to me. It's mine.
How many are you at?
Heather McDuff is supervising these volunteers in downtown Seattle as they make bag lunches to hand out to people experiencing homelessness. A decade earlier, she would have been on the receiving end.
3 oranges and 3 chips. We'll keep the ketchup separate. Okay.
When did you first start living on your own, and how did that happen?
My family life was pretty crummy. I'd been shipped around kind of a few places, you know, will you take her, will you take her? The last place that I ended up, so crazy, my ex-boyfriend's parents' house, of all things, in Alaska. And I had just kind of felt that family had enough to deal with. So I just got up in the middle of the night and left and went out on my own.
How old were you at that point?
I was about 15.
15. And so how did it pan out for you at that age? What happened next? What was the next big sort of chapter?
Heroin kind of hit the scene, and I started using heroin up there.
You couldn't afford a mattress. How could you afford heroin?
Well, there were like 6 or 7 of us would go in on it, you know, no clue about anything, you know, sharing needles and just dumb kids.
And what do you remember about like using for the first time? Did it have an immediate impact on you?
I just remember feeling like this is how I should be feeling, you know? Yeah, it was like a warm, fuzzy blanket. And I felt like safe and warm, and everything was great.
After 2 decades of living on the margins and 3 stints in prison, Heather stopped using heroin in 2014. Looking back, she describes her drug use as a coping mechanism.
Because it's such a struggle out there, you know, to worry about the few things that you have and where you're going to sleep. And substance use disorder a lot of times is a coping mechanism for dealing with being homeless.
You've been sober for 7 years now. Where do you consider yourself on your kind of mental health and wellness journey?
I think that I am doing really well. This last year's been hard. I still suffer from a lot of anxiety. You know, I run a tape in my head that, you know, things are going to happen how they're supposed to happen. And I kind of run that ticker tape when I start to spin out about anything.
Heather has also been able to turn her life experience into a full-time job, working as a peer specialist at Seattle's Downtown Emergency Service Center.
And what does a peer specialist do?
A lot of us have lived experience in mental health issues, substance use disorder. We can relate to clients and know the places that they've been to.
You couldn't be the superwoman you are now had you not gone through all of those years of what you saw, what you experienced.
It gave me the opportunity to be who I am today. And in loving myself, I can love others and help other people.
One of those other people is Chris Clark, who attends a weekly art therapy class led by Heather. Chris suffers from bipolar disorder and was placed in permanent supportive housing after living on the streets for 3 years.
I can't imagine what I'd do without my housing, and I can't imagine where I'd be if I didn't have it. Being homeless certainly adds to your mental issues. I wound up seeing a case manager, and he convinced me to start taking better mental care of myself.
For Chris, focusing on his mental health has made all the difference.
In the past 3 years, I've come a long ways with my mental health. My apartment wouldn't look like this.
When he's not tending to his fish tanks, houseplants, and terrariums, he's making hot meals for people experiencing homelessness.
Today I'm making vegetarian garden spaghetti. A lot of people that I deliver to, I actually known from when I lived on the streets with them. There you go, baby girl. Enjoy. What's up, man? You want some food?
Sure. Thank you.
Eat some spaghetti. People ask me all the time, why do I do it? And I'm like, because I've slept where you've slept, you know.
So what do you want to say about the homeless to viewers watching who think they have an opinion about the homeless? What do you want to say to them if they're willing to open their minds here for a minute?
You know, many of us take for granted being able to shut a door or go to our refrigerator and eat something. And these people struggle every day just for these small, minor things. And feeling safe is a human right. And not everybody gets to feel that way.
Anybody in the tent? I got hot food.